So I recently made a video about push-ups where I recommended adding a scapular protraction to the top of the movement. While it's still a great addition to the exercise, and I did start doing it, I am not doing it anymore, and we'll talk about why. So first, let's talk about what scapular protraction is. Right? So scapular protraction basically is moving your shoulder blades forward. Right? So this is your neutral shoulder blade position. Protraction is pushing them forward. Think about having your arms straight in a push-up position and pushing yourself up without bending your arms. Okay, what scapular retraction works are these serratus muscles, right? Those are the finger muscles up in your ribs. So while scapular protraction and push-ups is still great, it'll still add that extra workout in there, get an extra muscle in, and make it more difficult. The problem with it, as I started realizing while doing them, is that they did make regular push-ups significantly more difficult if it's not something you were used to doing, which is fine, except if you're trying to track your progress. If you were used to doing regular push-ups before, now you're adding scapular protraction. It means you could do many fewer repetitions, and it's hard to gauge that. In addition, you might no longer be able to add that scapular protraction at the top of the movement, but still have some strength left to do regular push-ups. So you're leaving some chest work on the table because you're no longer able to do that full exercise with the protraction, which is what you're trying to track if that's what you were doing before. So that's why I'm still doing scapular protraction, because I still want to work those serratus muscles, but I'm no longer integrating it with my push-up. So today, let's show what I'm doing instead for my serratus exercises. So as mentioned before, shoulder protraction is a function of the serratus muscle. So let's break down the serratus muscle. Right? It attaches in your scapula, which is your shoulder blade, and it wraps across and attaches to your upper and mid ribs. And as mentioned before, the function of the serratus muscle is scapular protraction, which is pushing your shoulder blades forward. Right? So if we're pushing that direction, we want our resistance pushing that way, right? Opposite of the direction we're moving. So let's go over how I'm working my serratus muscles now that I'm no longer integrating scapular protraction into my push-ups. So one of the most obvious ways we can do this is to do what we did before, except minus the push-up, right? So that's going to be scapular protraction in a push-up position minus the actual push-up itself. So what that looks like is getting in our push-up position and pressing our body up without bending our arms. So your arms remain rigid, and you're just moving those shoulders to press yourself up. Now, if that's too difficult for you, we can use the same progression we did in push-ups, which is basically shortening our lever length and doing the same exercise on our knees. Now, because of the change in angle, our resistance isn't going to be as directly opposed to our movement, but it will still work your serratus anterior, and it can help you build up to doing it on your toes. Another option is to use dumbbells, right? We'll simulate the same exercise, except instead of being on the ground and pushing our body weight, we'll lie on our back and push dumbbells. So, same thing. Imagine the sky is the floor, right? And we're still keeping our arms stiff, but we're just going to raise our shoulder blades, press the weight up and back down, and then push shoulder blades forward, back down. I don't have one here, but if you're working out at a gym with an adjustable cable machine, you can always set the cable up to shoulder height and work against it that way as well. Right? My setup is pretty limited. I don't have that, but if you work out at a gym, most gyms do have adjustable cables, so that is an option as well. Thanks for watching. If you have any comments or questions, please leave them down below. I'd love to hear from you. If you could, like and subscribe. It really helped me out a lot, and I really appreciate it. Thanks, everyone. Have a great day.